Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Sonys. This is the Oris in the background. I was using to test these. This is the Sony, if we can focus in on that, and not the background. Is the Sony. This is the MDR, and this is the EX10 model. And these actually just came out of the package. And were sitting in the closet for the longest time, and they seem to have yellowed. We'll put a mark against that. Build quality on these, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, build quality on these is awful. Just awful. It really is. It's a thin cable. I don't know about the durability of these. There's an air hole there. There's also an air hole in the back, giving these a fairly decent sound stage. The reason why I'm doing a review on these, obviously, is because they sound much better than I was expecting. Driver unit 3.5 inch dynamic, 0.35 inch dynamic, at least that's what it says. 16 ohms impedance. It's a PET diaphragm. Typical, almost every diaphragm is PET except for the special ones that have a coating on them like beryllium. Frequency response is 5 to 24,000 hertz. Sensitivity of 103 decibels. Chord length is 3.94 feet. I'm not used to actually seeing it in feet. That's why that threw me for a loop. And of course, they're closed earbuds. Let's get a look at them. Very thin cable. You snag this on something, it's gone. Obviously, the white is not recommended because it yellows. I can see a big difference in the color. And these have just been sitting around just from being in the sun, I guess. The tips are no longer clear. Popping that off. Hopefully I didn't rip it. Yes, you can rip tips, I found out. I thought they were like really strong silicone, but there have been a few of them that I've ripped. There it is. A paper filter to top everything off. So build quality on these. If I was going to give these a build quality rating from 1 to 5, these would be literally a 1. The Nice Hicks that I did a review on are made actually way better than this. They're actual metal. The cable's a little bit thicker. It's not the thickest in the world either, but it's better the quality than this. They sound fantastic, by the way, though. So this is why there's a review for these. These, when I got them, were $9.99. Possibly the lowest priced earphones that I own. I think my Skull Candies were like 20 bucks that I have, that I never did a review on. There's a reason for that. I don't do a review if something isn't that great, although they did have good bass, but it was thick and muddy, and that's about all they had. These also bass centered, but mids are also centered on these. They're forward, they're clear. Nothing has the greatest definition on these, obviously, but still to the point. They do sound much decent, much better than I was expecting. Just going to put that back. One of my many test phones. Yeah, these sounded way better than I was expecting. Build quality is absolutely horrible. I think I've said that a dozen times now. Sound-wise, very good. The highs, it's not a high centered. They do have a decent enough extension. There's not a lot of clarity and focus on those. The main focus is the bass, sub-bass, and the mids. Mids are forward in front of the bass, therefore they don't take as much of a hit from the bass as you would expect. There is a very deep sub-bass. It is fast bass. There's some fast roll-off on that. But still, overall, it's decent. It's enjoyable. Tuning is V-shape, obviously. They're not bad for the price that I paid. I have seen them up as high as $19. I don't know if I would recommend them in the $19 range when there's so much more competition out there. But if you can get these for $9 or even cheaper, this is a very interesting ultra low budget earphone that has you know, it ticks a lot of the boxes for some decent sub bass and bass. Don't expect a lot of details. Don't expect a lot of you know, just musicality to these. They're just what they are, and they're not bad. So they got a review finally after all this time. Sony MDR-EX10. There you go. So I hope this was informative. Thank you so much, and I will see you out on the internet. Next review coming up will be these guys right here, BG VPs. We're looking at the zeros. Uh, Completely opposite tuning from those. These things are fantastic, and we'll have a review for these shortly. These are very, very amazingly detailed and great vocals with these. Some very unique tuning, very unique shape. It's almost like a seed crust with a jelly bean, almost like a cashew shape. Very comfortable in the ears, very good build quality, nice rubberized cable. That review will be coming up shortly. The written reviews for that is actually out on my blog and on HeadFi if you're interested in the written review and you don't want to wait for the video. These guys, the review is already up on HeadFi. I don't know if it'll make it to my blog. Maybe it will. But yeah, Sony's bass. A lot of people like these. Obviously, if you've heard something like the Nice Hick or a KZ, maybe you wouldn't want to spend the $20 on these. But they surprised me with a decent enough sound. Thank you so much. Please be safe.